Pretty big crowd.
Good to see you all. Yay.
Hey, troublemakers.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, perfect.
Passed it done. Wall Mart got some.
Hey, Bruce.
Hey there.
Man, you are a troublemaker, aren't you?
You should sign up to be to that. Point to be you don't have to. Find it out for sure.
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Does anybody have any more forms for me? First of all, I'd like to welcome the public, the media, invited guests here tonight for the Whitehall Township Planning Commission meeting. And I have a few house rules I'd like to go over here.
Use the mic.
Louder. First of all, would you please silence your phones? That's kind of disruptive and those are going on throughout the meeting. And if you would like to speak, there are some rules we have in place for that. We're going to limit those to 3 minutes. We do ask that you give your name and your address. And each person is limited to speak at one time. You may not relinquish your time to another person. And please keep in mind that we have sat through several meetings with a lot of the same people here, so we have heard what you have to say. Comments are similar, maybe limit those, or if you have new things to say, we appreciate that as well. The other thing I'd like to mention is we do have law enforcement in the room. That's not a threat or anything like that. We hope that everybody was really impressed last time we held a meeting here. We hope we kind of follow that format again. We have a little community here. And hacking, cheering, that kind of thing, we're not going to tolerate that, so we will ask you to leave if you're being loud or just something there. So, I think that's all I have on that. I guess we're going to start the meeting, and I'll ask Mr. Adams to do a roll call, please.
Kathy Rousseau. John Duff. Here. Jim Evans here. John
Speak more loudly, please.
Here.
June Lyons.
Here.
Kelly Steinbauer.
Here.
Ryan Mullins.
Present.
Mullins.
Okay, we have a quorum. Next item would be approval of the agenda.
Make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the agenda as presented, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Okay. Next item is public comment. These are, we're offering a comment time for non-agenda items. If you have anything to address the committee with, this will be the time. Again, I will say this is not regarding our public hearing tonight, so.
Did you review the agenda? So you know what's on?
Okay, the agenda. We have our presentation of minutes coming up next. After that will be correspondence, zoning issues with Mr. Jensen, zoning administrator. Next item is going to be new business. We have a public hearing for an amendment to the zoning ordinance regarding the sidewalks. And then the next item, B on that, under new business, will be another public hearing regarding the addition of Article 29 regarding the sidewalk ordinance into our zoning ordinance. And then item C will be public hearing regarding the Wall Mart site plan. After that, unfinished business, announcements, next meeting adjourned. For the public hearing, I'll open the public hearing, allow you to have comments. We are not obligated to answer questions, so we will provide you an opportunity to comment. And I'll close the meeting, and at that point, the only action we will be taking tonight will be on item C. So they've already taken previous action on those first two items. So, is that clear to everybody? Okay, the next item, is there anybody from the public that wanted to speak on any unrelated matters? Okay, presentation of the minutes from June 5.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes of June 5th, 2015.
Motion is made. Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes as presented, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Item 6 is correspondence, zoning issues. Mr. Johnson.
Currently, I have nothing to report that pertains to the planning commission.
Okay, thank you. Next item is new business. And at this time, I would like to open the public hearing for an amendment to our zoning ordinance, Article 4, Section 402, to amend definitions. And this is pertaining to bicycle paths and sidewalks. This is an item that we've been working on for several months, so it has been in front of this commission several times. The two definitions in question are the definition of a bicycle path and definition of a sidewalk, just to clarify what those are. And I can read them if anybody's interested. If not, I would entertain a motion on that. Okay. Item B, public hearing, amendment to the zoning ordinance to add Article 29 to the zoning ordinance, which is regarding bicycle paths and sidewalks. Do you have any comments? So that's any motion on that one?
Only for me, and Article 29 sidewalk
Actually, We have already enacted on that. So actually, we just need a motion to close the public hearing. Next item is item C, public hearing for the Wall Mart site plan. What my intention here was to open the floor up to any members from the Wall Mart development team if they had anything they wanted to discuss or talk about. This would be an option for that.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. Robert Matco, CESO, Civil Engineer for Wall Mart, representing Wall Mart this evening, 8164 Executive Court, Lansing, Michigan. I have not much to add from our prior presentation other than we have incorporated some revisions to our plans that the Planning Commission has in front of them. Those revisions were requested, and we believe that we have a very good plan before you, and respectfully request that we receive site plan approval this evening. And we're available to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Brian Lorenz, LORENZ, WD Partners 7007 Stony Boulevard, Dublin, Ohio. I'm here representing the architectural portion of the building, and while it's not contingent on site plan approval, we did spend some significant time to upgrade the elevations per discussions with staff and comments from the Planning Commission. And what we wanted to do was to upgrade the elevations to reflect the historical significance of the timber industry here in Whitehall Township. And we've patterned the new facade after a store that we have in Wall Mart. So I'm sure that you all received the elevation packet, and I'm also here and happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, at this point, we will open it up to the public comment portion. Mr. Adams will read out the name, and you could go to either of your next here.
Dave Frederick.
My name is Dave Frederick. I live at 10115 Dunewood Drive in White River Township. I'm also a member of Bownot. Bownot and Whitehall Township share a common plight. Both organizations had to, by necessity, react to the world's largest and most powerful corporation. Both organizations had to do this without any prior experience and with minimal finances. Both Whitehall Township and Bownot have had to learn on the job. I know we've made mistakes. I wonder if you have. I readily admit that I would not want to be a member of either the Township Board or the Planning Commission. You folks have a really difficult situation, and I understand that. I've never held an elected office, but if I did, I would believe that my highest responsibility would be to represent and listen to the people. I hope that the public officials on the stage tonight would share that. I would also think it's safe to assume that most public officials would want to get all the facts and complete a thorough study before coming to a conclusion on an important issue. Regrettably, these two basic principles have not been adhered to by some of the Whitehall Township officials. Rather than establishing an open communication between the township and the public, there has been a near total lack of transparency at every meeting since the Wall Mart issue was first put on the agenda. While each meeting has allowed for public comment, township officials do not respond. And at each meeting, they announce that questions will not be answered. Instead of withholding their judgments until receiving all the facts and completely studying all the reports and options, many Whitehall Township officials decided to support the Wall Mart Supercenter as early as March of this year. When interviewing for a Grand Rapids Business Journal article published on March 27th, Supervisor Chuck Smithigal concluded his interview by saying, "I think it would be good for the township, our local schools, and it would have a good tax base." Zoning Administrator Val Jensen, who was responsible for advising the Board and Planning Commission, was quoted in the same article as saying, "The Board is well aware of the legalities. If Walmart does a proper plan, we're going to have to approve it. We have no other choice, whether we like it or don't. But," he says, "most of us are in favor of it." In March, I respectively suggested that Chuck...
That's for you minutes.
I have the sentence to finish. I respectively suggest that Chuck Smithigal and any of the, quote, others who prejudged and made up their minds on this important issue matter prior to getting the facts, before thoroughly studying the issue, before receiving the necessary reports from public agencies, and before hearing from the public, should recuse themselves from any votes on this issue. Thank you, and save our time.
Yeah.
I'm going to call the next name just so you can get in line. Mark Zickel will be after us.
I'm Oscar Kent, 6635 Loudo, Montague. This is addressed to Whitehall Planning Commission. I'm a retired financial analyst, investor, business owner, insurance and financial services representative. As a business person, I believe in free market competition with appropriate governmental oversight. Walmart is not free market. It is abusive global market domination that controls or annihilates small businesses, take over small towns, and influence local and international politics. I joined the bottom line in the fight against Walmart to save our town because data from past experience of other towns they have harmed and fundamental market analysis show that the local businesses cannot compete with Walmart's global monopoly power. Second, the majority of the profits from Walmart will not stay in our community. It goes to shareholders and corporate salaries. We have more to lose by allowing Walmart than we have to gain. Walmart would have a serious detrimental effect on our communities. Walmart will drive out small businesses that pay well, and we will have Walmart crappy jobs with no benefits and empty storefronts in their place. Walmart will actually stop the good commercial development that we need and desire, because other good retailers that would locate here, bringing good jobs with them, will also realize they cannot compete with Walmart's global monopoly power. With an oversupply of empty commercial buildings, we will have declining real estate values, commercial property values. We will also likely have declining residential property values, especially in neighborhoods where traffic from Walmart affects the quality of life and standard of living. We will have a net loss from business revenue, property tax, and personal income that could be spent in our community to support our schools, the arts, parks and recreations, and all of the things that we value in this community. The compounding trickle-down effect of Walmart will be devastating for this community. Finally, the whole notion of always low prices is deceptive at best and borders on false advertising. Research shows that consumers have no savings but pay more when buying a complete basket of goods at Walmart. Walmart simply forces competition to the lowest standard of living and to the lowest quality of life. That is not what this community is about. I'm asking the Planning Commission, the Board, and every concerned citizen to join in this fight to save our town. We will go to court. So please give generously to support our legal defense team. We must help Whitehall Township fight off Walmart I expect this battle to go on for years.
Thank you, Mr. Kent.
Every year that passes without a Wall Mart is our victory. Thank you.
Bill D. Paulson.
Mr. Chairman, I respectfully request to go last tonight in the public comment area because I'd like to make a closing statement based on the comments that are made tonight during this session. Thank you.
Bill D. Paulson. And then Tracy Dobson.
Good evening. My name is Sylvie Paulson. I live at 10115 Linwood Drive in White River Township, one of the several townships along with the cities of Montague and Whitehall that comprise the White Lake community. Some of us who are strongly opposed to having a Walmart move into the area have been asked, why do you care about a Whitehall Township issue when you are not even a resident of Whitehall Township? My answer is, number one, we are an interdependent, cooperative, and sharing community. And number two, surely Walmart does not expect that their customers would be residents of only Whitehall Township. Although I have numerous strong concerns about the Walmart Corporation and the possibility of one of their supercenters being built in our area, I will use my allotted time to focus on gray fields. Gray fields are defined as old, obsolete, and abandoned retail and commercial sites with thousands of square feet of retail space surrounded by seas of gray pavement. Walmart has a history of leaving gray fields when they close a store. As of November 2011, Walmart had 152 vacant or soon-to-be vacant stores across the country. If the proposed Whitehall Township store fails because there are not enough people in the community or because it ends up competing with the 3 other Walmart stores within a 20-mile radius, a gray field would be a definite concern. A number of preventative measures can be implemented and are recommended to protect Whitehall Township from having a 126,000 square foot gray field that no one will ever use for another purpose. A few of these methods to prevent gray fields are, number one, performance and demolition bonds. The performance bond would require Walmart to maintain the building until it is reoccupied. The demolition bond would require Walmart to remove the development and restore the site to its natural condition after a certain period of time from abandonment of facility. Number two, a conservation tax would be a tax or fee that would be held in an escrow account to pay for demolition if the store is abandoned. And number three, mandate that the store be designed for future reuse by multiple tenants. On June 18th, a town hall meeting entitled Walmart, How Will It Impact Our Community? Was held at the White Lake Senior Center in Montague. The meeting included a brief panel discussion and an audience question and answer period. Members of the Whitehall Township Planning Commission and Board and representatives from Walmart were invited to participate as panel members. They all declined. There were many questions asked by citizens.
That's 3 minutes.
I have 1 minute. There were many questions asked by citizens that could only be answered by Whitehall Township representatives and Walmart. I leave you with one of the yet unanswered questions concerning gray fields and a very urgent and sincere message. The question is, has the Whitehall Township Planning Commission considered or placed any requirements on Walmart to protect the community from having a gray field on the proposed building site? And my urgent and most sincere message is, save our community. Thank you for hearing our concerns and questions. I look forward to hearing your responses. Tracy Dobson, 6635 Loud Road, White River Township. I'm an attorney, a retired Michigan State University professor, concerned citizen, and member of Wall Mart. I wish to respectfully remind the Whitehall Township Planning Commission that your job is to help create a livable, walkable community as stated in your master plan. The proposed Walmart Supercenter would do just the opposite.
I have studied Walmart for months now, reading studies that look at large segments of the more than 4,000 Walmarts in the United States and case studies of single communities. The data all point in the same direction. Walmart is a monopolistic predator. Initially, it provides new low-wage, low-skilled jobs and low prices. They sell products below cost to drive out the competition. Once competitors are gone from the marketplace, the total number of local jobs is lower than before Walmart arrived, and prices are higher. Indeed, a 2005 study of 60 cities showed that Walmart's prices were higher for 80% of the shopping cart than at Kmart, Target, and local stores. Walmart was recently fined $81 million for environmental degradation they caused. Residents of Roosevelt Park in Muskegon believe Walmart operations have poisoned their wells. Similar degradation could happen in Whitehall Township. More studies are needed. You need not rush to judgment as was done in the 1950s with Hooker and DuPont. They are on a path of global destruction. One example is the recent Walmart supplier clothing factory fire in Bangladesh, in which more than 1,000 workers were burned to death. Is this the kind of retailer we want in our town? Walmart's predatory strategy is to become the sole retailer in all small communities where it locates. Are you going to help them destroy our hometowns of Whitehall and Montague as they have done in so many other small towns? Please read again and heed our attorney's 12-page statement of the many legal reasons for you to reject Walmart. Join with Bound and other communities across the United States to fight these supercenters. You can give money at Shelby State Bank or Hunt's Hardware. We are prepared to go to court to win this battle. The Drain Commissioner should be asked to provide a complete opinion based on information he requested but did not receive. Join with us to save our town. Thank you.
Art Puff, 4495 Canterbury Lane, Whitehall. This period of waiting for reports has given everyone some much needed time to further study the impact that Walmart has had on towns like ours. As I learned more about Walmart over these weeks, I found myself wondering how much of this is already general knowledge among members of the Planning Commission and the Township Board. I wonder about your perspective. The one opportunity we've had to get a bit of insight on this was really troubling. I'm referring to comments made by Township Supervisor Schmitteville in the June 16th edition of the White Lake Beacon. At that time, he gave an extensive list of new retailers who have come to our community without incident. He then challenged anyone who's raising an objection to this supercenter, saying, quote, "Opponents are suddenly interested in the competition provided by Walmart. Why the interest now?" End quote. In the intervening weeks since then, it's become clear that opposition to Walmart is not a recent phenomenon and is certainly not limited to the White Lake area. In any event, I would like to take this opportunity to respond. To put it simply, Walmart is in a class by itself, undermining American business practices as only a giant monopoly can. To begin with, they want to have their cake and eat it too. They promote this development as a supercenter, but want you to only hold them to guidelines that would apply to your typical retail store like a Montague Foods or a Pitkins Pharmacy. Its size and variety of stores in this Walmart shopping center clearly put it in a different category. I can't think of another retailer in our community who tried this wolf in sheep's clothing approach to further its goals. Secondly, the power of this international giant gives it leverage far beyond anything a small business can compete with. It can squeeze its suppliers once it gets them on the hook. This can lead to lower prices at first, but at the cost of companies going belly up down the road. The Michigan-based Classic Pickle Company is one example of a Walmart-related bankruptcy. It's also worth knowing that no other retailer benefits more than Walmart when it comes to receiving government subsidies. Michigan taxpayers will be paying for the public assistance of Walmart's low-paid part-time workers. The average Walmart worker requires $730 in taxpayer-funded health care and up to $1,200 in other forms of assistance. The final reason why we specifically object to Walmart is because of its disregard not only for workers' rights but for human life as well. Despite being the leading sweatshop outlet, Walmart refused to sign on to the Accord on Fire and Building Safety in Bangladesh after 1,200 workers died there in a factory collapse. This was a landmark agreement between retailers and industries.
Thank you.
First ever legal binding to settle disputes in court. Since that time, Walmart rolled out its own version of safety. Surprisingly, their program is totally voluntary, has no means of enforcement. These are facts I hope you'll keep in mind as you consider your options. Thank you.
Future people that are going to speak, please respect our 3-minute limit here. We have that for a reason. And when you get to that, please you consider it us. Thank you.
Sue Plufka, 4495 Canterbury Lane, Whitehall. In trying to learn everything I can about this issue, I must say that I've become aware of some information which is disturbing. I've learned that some of the members of this commission are backing Walmart because of the so-called 300 jobs it has promised to create. The fact is that new jobs are not created. They are only shifted from a local business to Walmart, where wages and benefits are actually lower, thus lowering the standard of living in our community. When I hear such broad promises of hundreds of new jobs, I tend to be a little skeptical. As they say, the devil's in the details. For example, did you deduct from Walmart's projection the number of positions that will be filled by current Walmart employees transferring in from outside of the White Lake area? There's a bitter irony for you, people wanting to transfer into our unique community where we're fighting so hard to protect what gives us that uniqueness. Another factor is the reality that Walmart's profits are enhanced by taking advantage of part-time employees. We don't have to ask you about worker benefits because we all know that Walmart is the nation's leader in the number of employees that will end up on public assistance paid for by you and me. I would like to know how you balance Walmart's promises with the fact that wherever they've gone, jobs in the surrounding community were lost because of small businesses cutting back or simply boarding up and closing. The fact of the matter is, the closer a business is to a Walmart, the more severe the impact is on that business. Did you look specifically at the number of businesses that will most directly be harmed and try to assess the damage? The most important fact that we need to come to grips with involves knowing the net number of jobs that results. It has been found that for every 2 jobs created by Walmart, 3 are actually lost. We urge you to use the guidelines in the township ordinances to keep Walmart out. Simply stated, it is a shopping center. Therefore, it would require a special use permit. One of your guidelines is that it should not affect local businesses. That's a no-brainer. You need to take your promises with a dose of salt. Fortunately, they've got a long track record, so it's easy enough to find out for yourself how other communities have been impacted. Walmart's so-called facts about new jobs are counterbalanced by the fact that they don't care anymore about this community than they did all of the others where they've abandoned stores and moved on.
10 seconds, please.
There are almost 200 former Walmart stores on the market in this country right now. The White Lake community does not need a Walmart, does not want a Walmart, and will not support a Walmart. As you petition saying they will not shop there.
Yeah. This This thing is mic'd, so there's no real reason to yell. We can hear you loud and clear up here. So let's set up our.
Don Spezia, and then Lisa Spezia will be next.
Don Spezia, 1663 West Crystal Lake Road. I'd like to talk about the traffic study. I had a copy of the one that's being redone and have comments on that. I have read it. The estimated traffic volume from Wall Mart is estimated at 6,402 trips per day. The estimated traffic volume for the future restaurant, bank, and gas station are estimated at 2,260 trips per day. The total estimated weekly volume is 8,664 trips per day, inbound and outbound. Weekends are even greater based on the Institute of Traffic Transportation Engineers Trip Generation Manual. It seems to have been ignored in the traffic study. The total peak hours, the total peak hour trips in a 6-hour period in the morning that they studied was midday, evening, was 1,978. The total peak hour trips leave 6,686 trips unaccounted for. Since this is far greater than the peak hour trips, it indicates that the traffic flow throughout the day will basically be constant. If the total traffic volume was averaged over 24 hours, then 8,664 trips over 24 hours, 16 minutes per hour, provides 6 trips per minute, or 1 trip every 10 seconds, which shows a constant flow of traffic. Since most of the traffic will occur during daylight hours, the daytime congestion will be constant. Many of the Whitehall Township residents are living in the area to get away from this sprawl and traffic congestion of the larger cities and suburbs, especially Macon. The traffic flow through Lawrence Road, Crystal Lake subdivision, and a few other neighborhoods is estimated to be 4% of the total trips, 346 trips per day, over and above the normal traffic flow. Assuming most trips occur during a 12-hour period, there will be 29 trips per hour, 1 car every 2 minutes. The area is a residential area, no posted speed limit, no sidewalks. Most of the residents walk, ride bicycles, push baby strollers, walk dogs in the street for exercise and recreation. The increased traffic volume justifies a 25 mile per hour speed limit, and I know the road commission has to approve that, and sidewalks in the area. And I think those sidewalks should be part of the expense of this project. The traffic on southbound US 31 Grant to Holden Whitehall Road is estimated to be 29% of the total traffic, 2,512 trips per day. This places the right and left turn lane from US 31 southbound at MDOT level of service G to F, which is classified as long traffic delays, 25 to 35 seconds per car, to level F, extreme traffic delays of 50 seconds per car. A traffic signal will not be installed at the Walmart driveway. The conditions will be monitored in the future to verify if the traffic signal is warranted. The traffic impact study indicates MDOT will not allow a traffic signal within 1,000 feet of the ramp. The Walmart driveways are both closer than that, therefore a traffic signal will never be installed in the future traffic warranted.
If you could close on that.
Okay, one more. Okay, Mike?
We have copies of both.
Amy Van Hoek will be after Lisa.
Lisa Stasia, 1663 West Crystal Lake Road in Whitehall Township. As a resident very nearby the proposed site, I have many concerns as well, but I am choosing to focus on lighting. I'm hoping that if you approve the Walmart at the proposed site, that you will consider how your ordinance affects the quality of life in terms of lead up into the night sky. My understanding of the current ordinance is that it does not require any quantitative measures of the lighting in the proposed site plan that Walmart has submitted, and I'm hoping that you will consider requiring 100% night sky cutoff light fixtures. My understanding of the site plan for Walmart is that there are more than 20 site lighting poles on the site plan, and each pole has either 1, 2, 3, or 4 light fixtures on top.
and that only 5 light fixtures were submitted for township review, and 3 of these are not 100% cut off and have no back shield on them at all. 2 of these are double specified as having partial cut off and 100% cut off. Again, I'm hoping for a 100% cut off.
Good evening. My name is Amy Van Loon. I reside at 1410 Peach Street in Whitehall. I am proud to serve as the Executive Director of the White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce, which is located at 124 West Hanson in Whitehall. The White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce was of the first organizations to come out in opposition regarding the Wall Mart development plans. With several municipalities to follow, including both City of Montague and City of Whitehall, surrounding townships, and including also our local state representatives. We continue to stand firm as a chamber in this opposition, as we believe these plans will be detrimental and harmful to both our small businesses and to our tourism. We ask that the Commission please take into consideration the 300 plus businesses that we represent and how it will affect our local economy. We urge you to keep in mind the thousands of visitors that come to our area every year that are attracted to our hometown community. We are sure you value our local residents we service as much as we do. Daily, we see and we hear from high volumes of these individuals, both locals and tourists, that are also very strong in their own opposition. We thank you for your due diligence in this process, and we know that you have a big decision to make that involve critical and concerning issues. Our hope is that these plans will not move forward, as it does not meet the needs of our business climate, nor does it fit the fabric of this community. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Talia Grieve. I reside at 5018 Wilcox in Montague. My husband and I also own a home at 1571 Schneider Lake Drive, just down the street from the proposed site. When I first moved to this area, when I got married, I loved the small town feel. I moved from the Spring Lake Grand Haven area, which is busy. There's constant traffic going to and from the lake from Grand Rapids. When it came time for us to start thinking about having a family and we needed a larger home, we looked at lots of places and we ended up settling back here in Montague because of the hometown feel. Pitkins is my pharmacy. They know me when I come in. We go to Chen's and they recognize us. My husband proposed there. We have a lot of attachments to this hometown and to this quiet community. That's what I want my daughter to have as well. I feel moving Walmart into this area will be detrimental to that. We will get a lot more of that traffic, and that will take away a lot of the quiet hometown feel, and also a lot of the tourists that I know a lot of our businesses rely on. So I urge you to take all of these things into consideration and make your final decision. Thank you.
My name is Jeff Cockrell, 1936 Angler Court, Whitehall. I'm a business owner in Whitehall. Muskegon County has 2 Walmarts already, as you know. Allowing a Walmart into our community will not only affect me, but how many other businesses will be hurt by this. Did you know that we have over 50 storefronts empty as I speak right now? How many more will be empty after Walmart comes to town? Many businesses have been on life support since our last recession and are starting to see things turn around for the first time in years. And then you will be cutting off our air supply again by allowing destructive monster into our community. How many more stores will be empty after Walmart comes? Walmart is not growth, it is just a shift. It affects all of us. Our integrity and uniqueness will be compromised. This is not the end. Help us save our towns, please. Thank you.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, Nancy, you're next.
My name is Nancy Wheeler. I live at 3847 Manatee, East Muskegon in Muskegon Township. I am a former employee of the Wall Mart on Sherman. I applied for a job there as a part-time. I had a full-time job already, but I wanted to add to my income. So I went to an interview in some building, and I asked for a customer service management job, which is a job where you get change for the people that work there and take care of their needs. I was going to help put that building together. This is the Sherman building, 1994. During the summer of 1994, while I had my part-time job there, we would put the shelves up, we would do things like that. But let me back up one step. I was told I would get $5.25 an hour as a customer service manager part-time. My first paycheck was $5 an hour. And I talked to the people there and they said, we do not pay anybody $5.25 an hour as a beginning person. There were a number of people who were cheated on their hours, including me, because the store was in the process of being built and put together. You wrote down your time, and when you got a paycheck, you had no proof of it, other than if you had taken a photo of what you had written down for time. Many people were cheated. Many people got in physical fights that I saw. And so therefore, I stuck around for the summer, hopefully just to make $5 an hour, and maybe things would get better. They have a soft opening, and if people don't know what a soft opening is, when a store is preparing to open without a grand opening, people are there, and if they want to purchase something, they can. The day before this took place, which was a Saturday, maybe September or August of 1994, I had trained 2 girls for cash register. The following day on Saturday, all 3 of us were there, plus other people. We hardly got a chance to hit the potty, let alone do anything else. We were running ragged. There was nobody else to help us. Managers, I don't know where managers were. I just would like the people to know it's not a place to work. It is not pleasant. I went home that Saturday night. After a whole day of wickedness, I called my supervisor. Well, let me back up. That night, the store closed possibly at
5 seconds.
5 seconds, really, sir? At 11 o'clock, they shut the lights down, and we were hollered at, we will clean the building, put it together, and then you will go home. The next day I called and said I quit.
Michael Rhodes will be after Mr. Haskell.
My name is David Hostica. I live at 8958 Harris Street. My family also owns the dog and suds at 4454 Dowling in Montague. All the statistics are out there, all the details are out there, all the information is out there. Not seeking to find a legal basis to shut this project down is irresponsible.
Michael Rhodes, and Barbara Lloyd.
All right, I've listened to all the stuff about lights and everything else. I'm here as a former Walmart associate. I lost my job 10 times, fought and got my job back 10 times. On the 10th time, I finally quit. I helped 3 other people get their jobs back. I had one friend that was getting fired because he was homosexual. I then helped him, and Walmart yelled and asked Walmart what a D-Day paper is, because they make you write a paper whether they should keep you or not. Well, when your manager is talking bad about you because of your sexual preferences, that's kind of degrading. I have seen more than anybody, and everything that I'm about to say can be checked under the Freedom of Information Act too. And you guys say about crime, and crime rate won't go up. I worked at one off of Henry Street. Our loss prevention guy was kidnapped at one point, pistol whipped and urinated on, drove around against his will, and then dropped back off. All because he was chasing shoplifters outside the doors and doing his job. I grand opened stores for Walmart. I went down to Granville and grand opened their store. Unfortunately, Walmart forgot to pay me for a month, and I had to fight to get my paycheck. It was only after threatening them to go to the IRS and the Department of Labor Relations did I get answers. Nobody wants to stand up and see just how bad Walmart is, but we're going to invite Walmart into our community. Why don't we invite the Bonanno family, the Gambinos? What's up with the Cola family? The Cosa Nostra is no different than what Walmart is. They use their strength and their power against people, and they extort from the communities. Is that really what we want in our community? What if it was one of your family members that got pistol whipped and kidnapped? What if it was one of your family members that were told that they couldn't work there because they were homosexual? Or had to file civil rights complaints because they were on the retarded side and were busted down with unloading trucks to pushing shopping carts and made fun out of? Walmart is not what we need in our community. Nobody here wants Walmart. We're not telling you guys how to do your job. I wouldn't want to be in your position. The only thing we're saying is to take the time to review it further. Before we're putting our jeopardy, our community, in your hands. That blood blessed on your hands. You don't dance with the devil dances with you. We just hope that you guys review all the facts. Dig in deep. Dig in. Find out. For all the rumors, go talk to any Walmart associate. I tried to get several to come, but most of them wouldn't. Some that were former associates had babysitting issues and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is, ask around. Dig deep. Take the time. That's what you guys are here for. Walmart is not that innocent and they're not that great. And we don't really want them in our community. Thank you.
I believe it's Mary McLeod. Pardon me if that's wrong.
My name is Barbara Lloyd. I live at 7007 North Old Channel Trail in Montague, Michigan. While listening tonight, I was interested in the lady that spoke about the $5 wage when she was going to work for Walmart some years ago. Because what I saw in the current Time magazine this week was an article on the business page 16, and then it's time August 12, 2013, and it is titled, "The District of Columbia's Living Wage Bill." And I will quote here. On July 10th, the District of Columbia Council passed a living wage bill requiring non-union retailers with more than 75,000 square feet of space and parent company revenue of $1 billion or more to pay workers a minimum of $12.50 an hour. Guess which company fits the bill? In response, Walmart had vowed to cancel 3 planned Washington area stores and halt construction on 3 others if the bill becomes law, unquote. Also, in 1994, and that's 19 years ago, Baltimore, Maryland, pioneered the idea that living wage laws have spread to more than 140 jurisdictions in the country. And my question is, would the Walmart in Whitehall Township be willing to pay the living wage of $12.50 an hour?
I'm Mary
house at 5042 Scenic Drive, so that's in Fruitland Township. It's not going to be very close to the store or anything. I didn't prepare something tonight, but I feel so strongly about this. I'm sure there are an awful lot of people like me, my family and my sons, who would not move to this, would not have moved to this area had there been a Walmart. This is a different kind of area. It's, you know, the downtown is something that I think about, I care about, it makes a difference to me. My family tries to do as much of its shopping as it can at the local places, and I think about shopping someplace and spending my money in a store that does not want to pay a local wage. I feel guilty buying it. I feel guilty shopping there. So I know, you know, you hear a site plan that says, well, we're going to make this nice facade, the lumber history, or, you know, that we're going to bring in a bunch of jobs. It's really easy for a company with a bunch of people on a salary to make a wonderful presentation, and it doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't tell a balanced truth. And the balanced truth on Walmart is all over the place. It is so easy to get the truth on Walmart.
Yay!
Mr. Kilson, Larry McLeod.
I'm Larry McLeod. I live in 45611 King Street in Montague. I retired from DuPont in Montague after 30 years service. I had 11 kids graduated from Montague and Whitehall. And I worked for Walmart, and I'm mighty proud of it. I worked there for 14 years after I retired from DuPont as a part-time employee. They hired me every summer as a part-time employee. That's exactly the way I wanted it. They treated me very well. If a guy lost his job 10 times, they hired him back 10 times. Both of them were crazy. Walmart hired him back, and he didn't get fired for doing a good job, I'll tell you that. But that's beside the point. But like the thing is, I've been reading these articles in the paper. Well, everything I've heard out here today is anti-Walmart. And these guys have page after page after page of stuff that they worked on for 3 months. I have nothing like that. I read stories in the paper about how Walmart treats chemicals. That's false. That's very false. Like I said, I worked for 14 years at Walmart, and we treated chemicals very delicately, just like they did at DuPont. And DuPont was our safety. Along with it, and DuPont did make some mistakes here a few years ago. But they were legal mistakes. But that's beside the point. And they talk about all these signatures you got on this petition against Walmart. How many of them are actually from Montague Whitehall area? Not all of them. And if I wanted to go out and get petitions for Walmart, I get a lot more than 21,000 or whatever it is, 2,100 or whatever. As far as the low payments or low wages, I'd like to know one of these stores in town here has how many full-time employees they have, and how many part-time employees they have, and what they pay their part-time employees, and what their benefits are. Do they get vacation time? Do they get sick pay and all that stuff? I mean, in Walmart did give me that. They gave me coats, they gave me shirts to follow my job in the garden center mostly. So I was very proud to work for Walmart. And like I say, my 11 kids, 10 of them are still alive, and most of them will welcome Walmart. Not all of them, most of them will welcome Walmart. So, thank you.
Mr. Kilson.
Who's that for me? Go ahead and mention on that.
Stephen. Let's go.
Thank you. My name is Norman Kittleson. I live at 1105 East Lewis Street in Whitehall. I urge the Planning Commission and the Township Board to further consider whether or not the proposed Walmart Supercenter
requires a special use permit according to township zoning ordinances. Walmart has submitted a site plan for their supercenter, but has not requested a special use permit as required by section 1003 for a shopping center. Walmart is arguing that the supercenter is a retail store, which requires only site plan review instead of a shopping center, which requires a special use permit. However, the proposed Walmart supercenter fits squarely within the definition of a shopping center in the ordinance, which is a shopping center, a group of commercial establishments planned, developed, and owned, and managed as a unit with off-street parking provided on the property. As the name suggests, the supercenter consists of multiple commercial establishments, not just a general retail store. The proposed development includes not only a retail, grocery, and clothing store, but many other types of commercial uses. Indeed, the entire concept of a supercenter is to provide multiple commercial activities all at one location. That means Walmart needs to apply for a special use permit. Meijer, with whom you're all familiar, advertises itself as a family-run shopping center. I would like any one of you to explain to me the difference between a Walmart and a Meijer. The Township 2004 Land Use Plan and the 2008 Supplement directly address the type of economic development that the community has identified as serving the well-being of the community. The overall growth management goal is orderly development, which provides for the protection of the environmental resources, will encourage walkable neighborhoods, promotes infill residential development and commercial developments with a town center feel. The character of the township should also be promoted through responsible growth management strategies and smart growth techniques, including architectural and site design standards for commercial development to create a traditional town square development. In short, there are a number of very valid reasons related to the economic and social well-being of the community for which the township should deny the proposed project as inconsistent with the township's special use permit standards. The corridor along the eastern end of Colby Road is pretty well developed with chain stores and restaurants and looks like thousands of other such corridors across the country. A term I have heard used to describe this kind of development is generica, which I think is very appropriate. It looks like any other place in the country. People choose to live in and visit the White Lake area because of its small town character. They do not come here for generica. And I'm really glad that Mr. McLeod is in a position to pass judgment on other people's work ethics. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Kim Burke. Good evening. Thanks for the opportunity. I don't envy you guys. Hope y'all doing okay under hot lights and hot seats. As a lifetime left-wing activist, I find it surprising to find myself on the same side of an issue as the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah!
The important part about that is that's what Walmart has brought together in White Lake. I think it's important to notice that this is a community come together from a lot of different places on an issue, showing up on evening after evening to attend these kind of functions. So, I'm with a few points. Our area depends on natural beauty and summer tourism. That is the biggest employer in the White Lake area. That's why people come here. The people who come here love our quaint, small town. They're not coming here for Walmart. I and more than 300 other people in this town work for the summer people who come here. That's more employment than Walmart is supposed to be bringing to town. If people don't come here, we don't have jobs. That's what keeps this town going, this whole area going. The last thing I'd like to say is that this Walmart development is this generation's hooker. A number of years ago, White Lake sold its environmental quality for a few jobs. It seemed like a good idea at the time. I know to many people, this Walmart development seemed like a good idea at the time. But rest assured, the pollution can be just as devastating. Thank you.
Kim Burke, 5280 Stanton Boulevard, Montague, Michigan. I moved here over 5 years ago. Whitehall, Montague community is my home. I moved here because it was one of the first exits north of Muskegon that did not have a Walmart. It was a place you could go and just be. We all have opinions about Walmart, and all of them are debatable, especially when shared with opposite views of our own. Just read the 47 plus comments after my Muskegon Chronicle letter to the editor. I am the author of The Viewpoint. What if our national parks had been next door to Walmart? As Benjamin Franklin once said, when the well is dry, we know the worth of water. Whitehall Township Board and Planning Commission, please ensure the long-term protection and beauty of our area. We cannot get it back. Please do not allow Walmart on your watch. Your community respects your positions, and we will have your back. Please come through every detail and then some. There are Walmarts everywhere. We just don't need one here.
Nikki Wentworth, 2161 Crystal Lake Road. If you're not familiar with that area, it will be in my front yard, pretty much. I have 3 children there, and the traffic there already is horrific. We've put up fences to make sure that people in the winter will not be in our front yard because they drive ridiculously, like high traffic goes through there. I don't need another reason for people to be driving through there. I know a lot of people live over in the area, and those are summer homes that will be devastated when they get broken into when they're out of the area, because people will know that nobody lives there during this time period. I know that's not a big effect for some of you sitting up there, but I joined the military and I moved back to this town because it's quiet and it's calm, and I want to raise my children in an area where everybody knows everybody, where the community helps raise kids still, because you can't find that in very many towns around here anymore. So I'd appreciate it if I didn't have to live and look at Walmart every day with the lights going and have my windows shut and boarded up. I would love to move out of the area if it comes to, but I'm going to lose all of my value in my home if it does. Because who wants to live next door to Walmart? I sure don't.
Kabbalah after Jan Herkenbrand.
Hi there, Jan Herkenbrand, 7040 Germania Drive, Blue Lake Township. You've heard about great many comments tonight, and evidence supporting the refusal to have a Walmart in the area. The evidence is out there for how Walmart treats workers. It's one of the employers in the country with the least job satisfaction, of how they treat their vendors in America and overseas, of how they treat their community with pollution, and then you come to the, how do we need that here? Do we need that company here? We have 20 miles away, 18 miles away, another one 24 miles away, another one in the vicinity as well. Of all the different things that I hear people talk about, light pollution, and I hear people talk about the effect on jobs that we'll have here, the biggest thing that rings to me is the fact that the township already said that we want a special use permit for shopping centers. And then when Walmart says, oh, we're not a shopping center, we're a retail store.
it seemed to be that that was a shutdown for there. Oh, well, if they're not a shopping center, then we don't need a special use. And the reality in everybody's eyes the world over, a Walmart is a shopping center. There's a Facebook page called Walmart Shopping Center. Look it up. By the definitions in the national standards of shopping centers, they're describe the type of business that Walmart is. One major retailer that does 70% to 90% of the business, with a few ancillary businesses within that business. You have the reasons there. Bound lawyers have supplied you with legal avenues to fight this. The community as large does not want it. Dig into your hearts, find a reason to say no and stop it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tanya Kabbalah. I live at 714 Allen Street in Whitehall. That's the home I grew up in. I am here because I love it, and it looks like I'm going to stay. Couldn't get out in time, I guess. I'm a member of the Whitehall City Council, but I'm speaking on my own behalf, but wanted to mention that I'm a member of the Whitehall Council because we did something that's fairly unprecedented in my 8 years as a city council member. We voted to express our opposition to this plan in your township. And I think that says a lot. First of all, I hope the decision is not made tonight. This is a very serious issue. Time is very important, and I hope they'll take what people have said and consider it carefully. And if it goes forward, there will be some huge negative environmental impact. So I hope you really take a good look at that if it does move forward. You're looking at huge amounts of pavement, loss of habitat, water quality issues. Make sure that you can do what you can to mitigate that. And then I looked at the traffic issue, and I don't think I want to be getting off on that exit anymore. I can't imagine how you're going to resolve the on and the off ramp and the entrance so close. I do oppose this plan, and the main reason for that is that the good thing is there's a lot of information out about Walmart. And yes, you can find a few studies that show that maybe there's no impact or a slight impact on a small town like Whitehall or Montague. But by far, the majority indicate that a community like ours, downtown like City of Whitehall, City of Montague, will be hugely impacted. And that's the main reason that I oppose this. We have businesses that have been here for decades. They've weathered the recession. They've weathered the sprawl that's already out in Whitehall Township. Without them, we will have no civic backbone. We're going to be losing our character and our appeal. We're really losing the heart because, as much as I do hear people criticize both towns because we have empty storefronts and things, there are efforts going on trying to bolster those downtowns because without our downtowns, what would we be? And these are hundreds of years. We just celebrated our 150th year. So it's very important. I support our local businesses. They really need our help. I also wanted to mention that we should be working together to increase our tax base in a positive economic climate for the entire area. And not just one jurisdiction kind of seizing their piece of the pie, running with it, to the detriment of the rest, because that's what these studies show happen. We will lose our tax base. You will get it, but we will lose it. And what we need to do is all work together. I just was at a workshop where it showed that young, talented people... Okay. Pardon?
You can finish your thought.
Okay. Young, talented people want traditional downtowns, want traditional neighborhoods. They want rural areas that have working farm and innovative businesses. They don't want sprawl. They're not looking for places with Walmart. So don't ruin it all for the rest of us. Try to work together.
Hello, I'm Susan Newhoff. I live at 8599 Old Channel Trail in Montague. I want to thank you all for holding this public forum, and I want to acknowledge just how much public opinion there is on the issue of Walmart. More than 2,300 people, 2,300 people have signed petitions against Walmart, either on paper or online. I have the paper petitions here. The question is how many are local? You'll find very few people who don't live in the White Lake area who signed these. And I think it's significant to note that the people who did sign these, who are from out of the area, were here visiting. They were tourists. And they felt so strongly because they've seen what Walmart has done in other counties and other cities, and they wanted to sign. By contrast, Walmart's online petition, people in support of it, as of yesterday, there were under 40 signatures. We are not alone in our efforts to stop Walmart. Thousands of us locally, and literally tens of thousands of community leaders, elected officials, residents, and business owners across the country know that Walmart does not belong in a small community like ours. Many communities are right now fighting Walmarts because they know exactly what will happen when Walmart moves in. They have read the studies, they have seen the videos, they've talked to people in communities when Walmart opened. They have not fallen for Walmart's serious misrepresentation of its impact on small communities. They've seen the pattern, the loss of locally owned businesses, the mess of traffic, the increased crime, because it has happened over and over and over again. I ask you, please, accept the facts that are out there. Accept the studies. Accept the daily newspaper articles about the impact of Walmart and its dishonorable business practices. I ask you to acknowledge what has already been playing out for years. I ask you, do not ignore history. Please, do not risk the businesses and the jobs of your friends and your neighbors and the quality of life here that is so precious. Do not rush your decision. We have been asked why we who live in Montague and Whitehall or one of the outlying townships feel we have the right to weigh in on this issue. So let me tell you, everything that happens in these contiguous communities is shared. When kids in Montague get the flu, kids in Whitehall Township get the flu. When the price of gas goes up in Whitehall, it goes up in Montague. We share everything from freeway access to medical doctors. When you travel from one community to the next, there are no walls, there are no gates, no checkpoints, but there are ripples. What happens in one of our tiny communities affects the rest of us. The negative effects of this Walmart will be felt for miles around. Thank you.
My name is Cy Berry. I live at 3073 West Clay in Grant Township. I think it's nice that the Walmart folks here tonight announced that they've changed the architectural facade of the building to remember our past. It's unfortunate that they don't seem to have a similar respect for our future. I hear people who said they'll bring Walmart here because it will bring jobs, and any job is a good job. I'm not so sure. A 2005 study from New York University found that Walmart employees earn 28% less on average than workers employed by other large retailers. At the same time, Walmart's sheer size and competitive influence exert a downward pressure on wages at other retailers. A study from the University of California, Berkeley finds that Walmart store openings in communities lead to the replacement of better paying jobs with jobs that pay less. As a result of this dynamic, average wages for retail workers were 10% lower and their job-based health coverage rate was 5 percentage points less in an area than it would be if Walmart did not exist. The study concludes that in 2000, retail employees nationwide would have taken home $4.5 billion more in their total paycheck if Walmart had not been around. So Walmart isn't lousy just for its own workers. It makes it worse for all retail workers. That's one reason it's significant, and when Walmart is trying to brag about its wages. The claim is that the average pay for the full-time worker is $12.40 an hour. That's just under $26,000 a year for a year of full-time work, which is below the median wage for an individual. And Walmart is trying to define that in the popular imagination as a good wage. Part of the way Walmart makes less than $26,000 for a year of full-time work look good, of course, is to deny many of its workers full-time work. Oh, and it pays those workers who'd like to work full-time but don't have that option even less per hour than the lucky full-time workers. A third of Walmart's employees work less than 28 hours per week and don't qualify for benefits. The average wage for those employees is $8.81 an hour. And since they're expected to be available whenever they're called in to work, good luck managing to hold a second part-time job. Everything Walmart does around wages, from its low starting wages to its huge part-time workforce, to its tightly restricted system of raises and promotions, to its very claims of being a good employer, is about taking the next step in the race to the bottom, breaking down its workers and making them desperate, driving down the public's understanding of what exactly a good job is. It's time to fight back. We can start that fight here. And much has been said and stats cited to demonstrate the impact that Walmart has on killing off local businesses. But small businesses reach their end under the withering pressure of the Walmart giant. But what about the new startup businesses? This is a small community. People get started here. A guy puts together, ties flies or fishing rigs, and he takes them to Johnson's and Armstrong's, and they willingly put them in their stores. Some people are kid kids with a homemade product and get in there. Walmart will never do that. It would change the fabric of this community. Please think about it. Thank you.
Catherine Ellis? Right, good. I wasn't quite sure I heard you.
After you, it's Christine Hester.
Okay. My name is Catherine Ellis. My husband and I have a cottage in Fruitland Township. We've had it for 25 years. I'd like to congratulate everyone who's participated in this campaign to stop Walmart. I agree with you 100%. I've worked against development in a couple of big projects, the tannery and Elmwood Landing. In the case of the tannery, we were successful in getting them to follow the strictest rules possible, and of course it hasn't been developed yet. But that may be what would be the result in this case. Or by asking them to follow some of the strictest rules, they may get discouraged. I visited the township hall, and it took 3 or 4 times that I finally got to see the plan. I noticed that in the land use plan, which I asked to see, which I saw on the internet, it says that economic development is needed, quote, in order to attract desired businesses to the area. But is Walmart a desired business? And of course we discussed whether it would not attract other businesses. I wonder if this language could be used in a court case. Also listed with the township objectives to, quote, create a community that is informed and educated concerning the advantage of managed controlled growth, end quote. The township board has fallen down on that job. They're very defensive. I asked Supervisor Chuck Schnitzel, the alternates and Val, and Treasurer June Leidens, if they had seen the Walmart movie, and they had not. I said, why are they the only people in town who haven't seen this? They're not participating in this educational process that's supposed to be. We need to push for all we can get from Walmart at this point. They don't have a good business reputation for making changes later. Please consider, crime has been mentioned, please consider that. I don't know what service, what municipality they'll be under, and if it's going to be the Muskegon County Sheriff's Department, then they should be paying more for more sheriffs, or perhaps some kind of a tie-in with the township pays the city for more deputies, more sheriffs. I know that in Fruitland Township, if you call, it's about a 40-minute wait, and there's perhaps only one deputy working or 2 at night for the whole county. So we'd like to see more presence there. I asked the supervisor to attend this meeting, and he told me that he would not. Pardon?
Could you please wrap your statement up this 3 minutes?
Okay. I asked him if he would tape and then listen to it so that he could see our concerns.
After Mark Zickel will finish out the public comment.
My name is Christine Pastor. I live at 4443 South Shore Drive. We moved here and we immediately decided that we wanted to help make the community better and we wanted to stay here forever. Listen, listen, read, listen, listen, listen. You are all elected officials. There is nothing about this. There is nothing about this that has one single positive for anything in White Lake area. I've driven around and I have chosen White Lake as my 47th address and final. Okay? I have been in towns where Walmart has come in and they have killed the towns. I can tell you that 80% of our small businesses will be put out of business. Tourists will not come, not the ones we want. I want you to think very hard. The information's there. These are immoral, unethical, bad for our economy, bad for our living habitat, bad ecologically, and bad for our mental health. I don't want to say, oh, sure, just make sure we bring in a lot more police. Think about it. Listen. All of you are civil servants. And the people have spoken. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mark Zickel. I live at 5580 Oak Tree Lane in Whitehall. I am the chairman of the board of directors of the White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce. I own a business in downtown Whitehall named Pub 111, and I'm a very, very proud member of BANAT. You have heard from a lot of people tonight throughout the White Lake area opposed to the Walmart Supercenter shopping center development. You have also heard from virtually all of the surrounding townships, cities, business owners, and thousands of local residents through signed petitions that they are opposed to this. I am sure this weighs heavily on all of you. I am fearful that even with all of tonight's feedback, the hundreds of negative economic and tourism impact facts known, and the overwhelming community-wide opposition to this Walmart shopping center development, you all may be feeling boxed in or forced to vote in favor of this due to current zoning and advice from your township attorney related to the possibility of facing a long and expensive legal battle if you do not vote in favor of the proposed project. Please do not let the fear of litigation drive your decision. Please base your individual vote on what you feel in your heart is best for our collective, beautiful White Lake community. Also, please understand you don't have to go this alone. As a community, we will stand together united to face the issues a no vote on this development may create for your township. This includes a commitment from many within the White Lake community to help with the cost of legal expenses you may incur. We can redirect our strategic approach, our high energy, our legal and financial resources to support a Whitehall Township that is in alignment with the position of the greater White Lake area residents and businesses, which has a relentless focus on protecting and preserving the character and proud heritage of our community. Simply put, don't take a defensive position due to possible legal action. Have the courage to vote no on this proposed Walmart shopping center based upon your intellect, integrity, personal values, and the rest of the White Lake community will rally around and support Whitehall Township going forward, dealing with the possible fallout that may follow.
Okay, yeah, just me. Matt didn't go.
What we're going to do is
Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
allow for
I love you.
commission members, I guess, to ask questions that they have of developers. And actually, if any of you want to respond to any of the public comments, you can do that. You don't have to. So I guess I don't know if you guys want to have a representative. Does anybody have any particular questions that they would like to ask?
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Matko, you talked in the meetings that you had with some of our officials about the islands, the raised islands and the irrigation system to that, and you guys decided that. Speak up! Louder. You guys decided that wasn't necessary. You were planning on using drought-resistant plants and then replacing them when they, die or if they die. I've been out kind of snooping around the developments in Grand Rapids where I work, and a lot of those developments include that in their parking lots, and it looks nice. And in contrast to that, you go through the Wall Mart on Sherman Boulevard in Muskegon. You see that they don't have that, and it's evident that they don't. There's weeds, and it's not attractive at all. It's not kept up at all. Why do you believe that that's not something that you want to incorporate in this plan?
Well, there are Walmarts throughout the state that, where the jurisdiction or where there is not a requirement for irrigation. In those sites, there's many examples. You might have just stumbled across one, but there are many examples where irrigation is not present. And our landscape plan does take into account the trees that are shown, the type of seed mixture and grass that will be installed, that will actually sustain some of the drought periods. So for this development, no, we're not showing the irrigation. Not only is it not required, but we also believe that the landscape plan that's developed, the plants would survive, the trees and shrubs and whatnot.
Have you been to the Walmart and Sherman and seen those items that I'm talking about?
What? I have not personally, and that may be one example or something. I can't comment on that because I've not seen it. I know we've just have done a few Walmarts here that have not required the irrigation, and again, they are sustaining themselves very well.
Have you seen the islands with irrigation? Have you seen the difference between the two? Do you know what I'm talking about there?
I can't comment on the difference. I'm sure here, a lot of the islands, what we do too is they'll be mulched. And that helps actually absorb a lot of the water and keeps the trees and whatnot that's planted. It does protect those as some of your homes would. I'm sure every residential property does not have irrigation. There are probably some, maybe a few, 2-3 weeks in the summer where we hit that really hot period where you might have some dry time. But more times than not, especially out here on the west side, those plants could survive.
Is the main reason for that the cost of putting irrigation in up front?
No, it's not the cost. I mean, there are actually maintenance issues with the irrigation system as well. And as I stated, Walmart looks at it a couple of ways. The landscape plan that's actually developed we believe really irrigation is not required for this site.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question or two for you. Actually, I understand that the Muskegon County Road Commission has requested, since you have moved one of your driveways further east, an update to that traffic study that will reflect that move, since things will be a little bit different with that move. What's your take on that? Are you planning on addressing that issue?
In terms of what movement?
Well, you're removing the drive at the Ramada Inn and replacing another drive further down, but your original study was reflected on traffic coming in that entrance, which they will not be using now.
Actually, the study was revised to show the Eastern Drive, and that Eastern Drive approach now is located furthest east on the property, or approximately 1,100 to 1,150 feet from the ramps. So that would then suffice MDOT's comment about having a driveway more than 1,000 feet to the east. As far as the Road Commission's comments, I've read through those. Some of the comments they did have can be addressed, and the traffic study, the revised traffic study, does address those. And again, we've shown that the site driveways will operate at acceptable levels of service.
I guess following that up, in your traffic study, in the current year 2013, you show the northbound to eastbound leg of the interchange as the level C level of service, which is average traffic delays. That's 2013. With a 29% increase in traffic in 2014 with your after-build scenario, that drops to a level F, and that's in your own study. I just wonder, your study says that there is no need for any kind of improvement there, but if you're dropping from a C to an F, which means extreme traffic delays at that point, I'm kind of curious why you would think that would be an issue that actually address.
We did submit the traffic study, as you know, to MDOT and the county, and we did run the entire street network through a traffic simulation program named Synchro. And for those in the public as well, we did follow national standards in putting that traffic impact study together. We have submitted the traffic impact study in all files to the county and MDOT. What that location did show is that the turning movement, as you know, if you make a left out sometimes onto a street, even if you have 10 vehicles on your major street, you can experience some delay. But what the Synchro model showed is that delay, or the queuing of vehicles, does not queue up more than 6, 7, 8 vehicles at a time. So the concern of those vehicles extending onto the main line was not a concern or a safety issue.
Were any of your numbers for that Synchro model, were those run on weekends or any peak?
They were run on the time periods that both MDOT and the county had supplied, which were weekdays 7 to 9, I believe 11 to 1, and 3 to 6 time periods. And those again were dictated by the reviewing agencies.
So I guess to review or recap, you're stating that there will not be a need for any kind of upgrade or maintenance at that intersection if this Walmart store goes in?
I'm saying that the analysis that showed no delays or backups onto MDOT's main line. I'd like to further point out that the site driveways all operate at level service A and B levels of service.
I will agree with that. It was just the F and the D, and actually out to 2014, that appears to get even worse. So that was the one that I was concerned with there. Following that up, pedestrian issues. I just wanted to ask you a couple questions on that. Your company has identified non-motorized pedestrian traffic or that mode of transportation as important to your business. And I think that's obvious by the fact that you have purchased a bus in Muskegon and you actually shift patrons to and from your store with that in mind, I wonder how you intend to address the potential for pedestrians coming from our populated area, which is all west of this site, and they will have to cross underneath the highway and across the busy intersection. And I will give you credit because you guys have addressed the issue on your site, but it's my understanding that you are not interested in putting any kind of facility off of your site to address this issue. I was just kind of wondering what your thoughts were on that.
That's correct. We've done exactly what the ordinance and what the township requires. We've extended 8-foot, even though not required, an 8-foot bike path across our frontage, which is doable. We've extended 5-foot sidewalk all the way internal from the 8-foot walkway along Holton Whitehall into the site up to the store. As far as extending any walkways beyond that, we would get out of right-of-way, and we would have to obtain not only right-of-way, but there would be additional drainage issues, and it is again beyond Wall Mart's responsibility. Something like that could be taken up with. There are different ways from the government to actually secure funds for additional or extensions of sidewalks, but again, Walmart has actually done exactly what they're required in front of their site and actually even internal to their site.
I will agree with that, and for the record, those road agencies have offered that right-of-way to you. You would not have to pay for that.
There would be right-of-way on Vermont Inn's property. There would also be additional issues going underneath 31 that we really have no control over. And we have received the road commission's letter. They're requiring not only they are stating that should a pathway be installed, that it be 8 feet, and that the drainage be installed, one on 4 slopes be maintained with a 2-foot ditch bottom, and that would more than extend beyond the existing right-of-way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Anybody? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so at this point, I would like to close the public hearing. Entertain a motion for that. Is there any discussion amongst the planning commission before we take this to a vote?
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt the draft report, including the proposed findings of fact for conclusion, and the draft approval of the site plan application as the planning commission's determination and decision.
I'll second that motion.
Yes, do that for a second. I'll reread the motion. Everybody didn't hear that. The motion was to adopt the draft report, including the proposed findings of fact and conclusions, and draft approval of the site plan application as planning commission's determination and decision. That was motion and supported. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to
Make a motion to add the irrigated landscaping to the conditions to the site plan approval. Yeah, I'd like to add that, make a motion for that, please.
Okay, yeah. Okay, this would be an amendment to the original motion, I guess. We would vote on that separately.
Yeah, just for clarification, at what locations are you proposing irrigation?
and to all the raised islands in the parking lot.
Thank you. I guess
The landscaped raised islands.
I need a motion to support the motion to say where it's going to go. Is that good?
I guess at this point, do we have any other amendments to add to that original motion? Okay, I guess I'll call a question on Mr. Nobbins' amendment to add irrigation to landscape areas as part of the conditions to the site plan approval. And let's do a roll call vote on that.
Kathy Soap?
Yes.
John Duff?
Yes.
Tim Evans, yes. John Giberson?
Yes.
June Light?
Yes.
Kelly Steinbauer?
Yes.
Ryan Mullins?
Yes. Motion carries. That will be added as an amendment. Now we will vote on the original motion. So, if there are no votes or abstaining votes, I guess the no votes, I guess if you wanted to provide an explanation, that would be helpful for our records. So let's go ahead with the roll call.
Kathy Soap?
Yes.
John Duff?
Yes.
Tim Evans? Yes. John Giberson?
Mr. Chairman, I must, due to a personal conflict or potential personal conflict, I must abstain from this vote.
June Light?
Yes.
Kelly Steinbauer?
Yes.
Ryan Mullins?
I'm also going to abstain from this vote. Yeah, that's
4 yeses and 2 abstentions.
it's unanimous. Motion carries.
It's amazing.
Moving on to unfinished business. No unfinished business.